we are continuing on this series. Now, today we are going to look at 5 keys to goal setting. So we have spoken at length about why goal setting, the link to the subconscious mind, the link to the superconscious mind, all that we have looked at. Now we are going to look at finer aspects of goal setting. So this is a part of the Power of Personal Achievement by Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is one of an international millionaire, and he's done so many businesses he's set up and run and all that, and now he's like an international trainer on how to be successful, how to like creating self-made millionaires. He's a person who's been doing it. So Brian Tracy's 2-day program, so I've broken it up into sections, and we are continuing with 5 keys to goal setting. So let's look at the power of written goals. So there are 2 interesting studies which have happened way back. The first study was from Yale University in 1953. So what they looked at is that time they looked at students who were passing out, and they looked at the students. These are all MBA students. They found out how many of them had set goals and made a plan to accomplish them after they graduate. Okay, this was in 1953. And what they found is 84% of them did not have goals. 15% of them set their goals in their mind. And 3% of them had written goals. Okay. Now, these same people were revisited in 1993, like decades later. What they found is this, very interesting. They found that 3% of the people who had written goals had more net worth than all the 97% put together. Okay, you see the impact of just setting goals and writing them down. This is not the only study. There was one more study thereafter, Harvard, 1969. Very similar findings. 84% had no goals, 13% had goals set in their mind, and 3% had written goals. Okay. Again, 10 years later, when they reviewed them, the interesting thing is this people who had only goals in their mind, their earning was twice the people who had no goals at all. Okay. But this is the most exciting part. This 3% who had written goals, their earning was 10 times higher than the people with no goals at all. So what I want to emphasize is the power of setting goals and writing them down. Okay. So setting goals and writing them down increases your chances of success at least 10 times. Significantly, it will increase. And this is something that I have repeatedly seen being said by so many of the international trainers, people who've been successful. Now, just imagine that you're in a foreign land. So you want to go from place A to place B, but situation is you do not have any maps with you. Okay. Imagine that situation. And the roads don't have any signs or directions. This is your situation. Now, how do you think your journey will take? You want to go from place A to place B. How long will it take? If you just practically just give a thought, no, you will realize that, it may be forever. You never know how long it will take. You may never reach that place at all, right? Most people are living their lives like this, that we are just going in circles. We have no clarity about where we want to go and how we are going to get where we want to get. So what they do is they try this and that. Okay, then they will go home and watch TV and then do some more of trying this and that. That's what most of us do, right? So that's why it is not a surprise that majority of the people do not find any success in their life simply because there is no focus, there's no clarity. But now, this time, let us suppose you want to go from place A to place B in a foreign land. But if you are very clear about where you want to go and you have a very precise map, right? And there are fantastic signages along the road, what will happen then? You will arrive at your destination in a very short time. It's obvious, isn't it? Successful people just go faster and faster and faster towards what they want to accomplish. And this is because all successful people have a clear practice of goal setting. So what you need is you need to have clarity. Clarity of what? You need to have clarity with regards to your goals, your plans. That means how are you going to execute the goal, the plan for that, and what are your priorities? You need to have clarity. right? And also have clarity on what are the problems that you have, what are the obstacles you're facing. Have clarity on all this. If you have this clarity, then there is, there is magic that happens between the head and the hands. What they are saying is, when you write down what you want, when you write down your goals, it helps the mind to understand with a much greater clarity. Okay, so it is not just about setting goals in your head, it is about putting them down on paper. So let's look at 5 keys to goal setting. The first step is to understand what is a goal. What does it mean to have a goal? So let's look at that. So typically, what are the goals of that people typically have? You know what we typically say is, I want to be rich, or I want to be thin, happy, successful, etc. These are typical things that we say, right? Remember that these are not goals. These are merely, you can just call it a fantasy or a wish. You're just wishing that, oh, I want to be thin, I want to be happy, I want to be healthy. It's just wishes. Then what is a goal? A goal is and this is an analogy, okay? A goal is like a blueprint for a home. You just imagine you want to build a home, and you have a complete blueprint for the home. Every bit of how much, how large it's going to be, what are the sizes of the rooms, where what is going to be there, what is going to be the thickness of the walls, piping, electricity, everything is laid out. You have a blueprint. So a goal is like a blueprint, or you can imagine it like a recipe for a dish. You have it clearly spelled out. What are the steps you have to take? What are the ingredients? What are the steps you have to take to prepare a dish? So that's what a goal is like. So the second key aspect is properly set goals and write them down. As we have seen earlier, the just setting the goals and writing them down properly dramatically increases the likelihood of achievement. That is one thing. Second, all this happens because it improves your clarity. It gives a tremendous amount of clarity. And this is the most exciting part. It activates powers that we may not be aware of. So some of you who are in today's session, you have not heard the previous ones. I want to invite you to start watching this entire series of the power of personal development from video number 1. Okay, I watch it. One of the episodes is called the 7 mental laws, and there are many more laws which are discussed thereafter. These powers, okay, these laws get activated. If you understand the laws, you will understand the potency of them. There is a law of control, there is a law of accident, law of cause and effect, law of belief, law of expectations, law of attraction, law of correspondence, law of subconscious activity, law of substitution, law of concentration, law of reversibility, law of emotion, law of habit. So many of the laws we've already discussed all this in the last many sessions. When you are setting goals and when you are writing them down, these laws get activated. So you don't even have to know about the laws. Just doing this activity automatically activates these processes, okay, without your being conscious about it. When you have a goal that is very clear, very specific, and it's a burning, it's like, it's a fire within you that, oh my God, like I have to achieve this, right? And when you are focused about it, and when it is well defined, that means it is well quantified. It's not like a vague thing. It is very, very well defined and well quantified, right? Then all the laws of the universe align themselves for you, okay? Which is why goal-oriented people achieve 10 times more as compared to people without goals, okay? So set it in your mind clearly. One, having goals is important. Second is write down the goals. So what does the writing down the goals, what does it achieve? You can recognize if a person is goal oriented, just by looking at a person who has clear goals and who writes them down. You can recognize such people. If you look at them, you can recognize them. So what Brian Tracy says is, writing down goals changes your physiology. It changes your face, eyes, body language, simply because there's a different clarity, there is a different confidence with which you go about things, right? And so all these things automatically happen. The level of confidence that you have, The way you carry yourself completely changes when you have clear goals. Okay. In other words, it makes you a very different human being in a very positive sense. It makes you a very different human being. Okay. Right. The next ability to set goals and make plans for the goals accomplishment is a master skill for success. They are saying that it is the master skill, the master skill. If you want to succeed, this is one basic thing that you should do. Those who do not have goals are actually doomed forever to work for the people who have goals. If you really look at people who are really successful, they are all goal oriented. And you look at all that vast majority who are just drifting around, they do not have goals. And you will find that all of them are typically employees. See, most of us who have been employees, okay, the way we have gone about our life is that, there is somebody else who's deciding everything about us. We are not the people controlling our life. So, those, it's not why, there is a mistake. Those who run everything are the people who have the goals. And 80%, that vast 80% who are working for those who run everything are the people without goals. This is the reality. Okay. Okay. This is something interesting. Setting the goals triggers cybernetic mechanisms in the mind to seek out the goals. The mind's whole functioning process changes, and it's like a beautiful example that it's just coming up. So basically, there is psychocybernetic goal-seeking mechanism of the mind. It was discovered. They say that what they found is that once you set a goal, the whole mind aligns itself and starts looking for it and starts moving towards it without even knowing where it is. You imagine a missile, okay, a missile that is locked on and is homing on a target. So you set that location and you set what is that target and you fire it, right? The missile gets locked on and then it homes in and it will start moving. So the point is this: you may not know where your goal lies, you do not know how to find it, but the mind will find it for you. That is the power that gets triggered when you set your goals and you write them down. So the important thing is we have to be clear about the goal. That is step number one. The second most important step is to begin. You begin with taking a first step. Okay. Just having a goal and doing nothing about it doesn't work. Okay. So once you take the first step and once you start doing, you may be moving in a completely wrong direction. Okay. But the mind will support course correction. And as we said, there are many other laws which start getting aligned. Okay. So there will be things that will start happening in ways that you'll think, oh my God, like how is this magic happening? But things will start happening. So you need to have the confidence and you need to trust this process. Trust it. That set goals, write it down, and start working towards it. Take that step and start working towards it, and things will start happening. What happens for many people is that initially they may have set certain goals, and finally the goals that they achieve may be different from what they started off with, which does not matter. The point is that whichever is the final goal got manifested only because they did the initial goal setting and they started taking action. If they had not done this initial goal setting and taken action, that final goal itself would not have happened. That happens only because there was something that they started off with, right? You just imagine this. You may have the best of the missile. The missile is of no value unless it is fired. Until you fire the missile, it's useless. So until you may have a fantastic goal, clarity and all that, but until you take your steps and start moving towards whichever direction you start moving, nothing will happen, right? So are you stuck? You're getting ready, getting ready, aiming, but not firing. That's no good. So please check whether you are in that state, that all the readiness has been done, you have aimed, but you're not firing. It's okay, just fire, start firing. And then you can do course correction. You can then correct your aim and all that. But start firing, start taking action. Right. We have, now this is very important. Please be watchful about this. Just like we have an inbuilt success mechanism, there is also an inbuilt failure mechanism that we have. Okay. We are, as human beings, we are designed for success, which most of us don't recognize it at all. We are designed for success. But there is also an auto or a default setting to fail or to underachieve. That is also inbuilt within us. Why is this thing setting there? Because this is our survival mechanism. The entire mechanism, see, the way the mind has been designed, okay, is that it is, somebody gave a very beautiful analogy. They said it is like an over worrying mother. Okay. The mother is just getting more and more worried about the child, always worried about the child. So it's always trying to protect, protect, protect. In this process of just being protected, you don't take a step forward. You get stuck, right? So the mind is designed like this because survival is what the mind is trying to do. It is trying to protect you and ensure that you survive. But in today's life, that whole thing about survival is gone, because we are not in a state where you're staying in a place where there are suddenly a snake may come in, or something completely unanticipated may happen. We are in a completely protected space, and we are capable of doing something much more. But that initial survival instinct will kick in, and the auto or the default setting is to fail or to underachieve, and therefore the vast majority, they always fail and underachieve. Then how do the others succeed? So this is the interesting thing. We have done this. This is a repeat slide of one of the previous sessions. There is a law of emotions. Okay, now see how it works. This is a something that a Native American tribe, they asked him. This is something that a certain Native American tribe said about how does he take decisions. So he says that on both of my shoulders, on my left shoulder and my right shoulder, on one shoulder I have a black wolf, on my other shoulder I have a white wolf. Okay. And both the wolves are telling me certain things. The black wolf keeps telling me something. White wolf is also telling me something. So the black wolf is continuously luring me to do undesirable things. Okay. And the white wolf is encouraging me to do things that are good. Okay. So now the question is this: which wolf is able to succeed with us, with him, or with us? This is true for us also, right? Which wolf is able to succeed? The answer is the wolf that I feed, that wolf will succeed. Please read this and understand this carefully. Whichever side of you give for food to, whichever side of you give importance to, that is the side that is going to succeed. So you have the choice. You can focus on all those undesirable things, or you can focus on all the wonderful things. The choice is with you. What you pay attention to dominates your thinking. So therefore, by continuously thinking about what you desire, rather than, so what we are trying to say is continuously think about what you want. Don't keep thinking about what you don't want, right? Continuously thinking about what you desire, you can make it more intense just by thinking about what you desire. The power of that emotion is such that it will make it more intense. Okay. And it will make your desire dominate your fears. That is the power of this law of emotions, right? Which wolf are you feeding? Please be watchful about this. Right. So as we have been looking at this failure mechanism, which side are you feeding? Are you feeding the failure side, or are you feeding the success side? This is a choice that each of us have, and we have to make that choice. So failure mechanism is activated by, three factors are there. One is the comfort zone, second is learned helplessness, and third is the path of least resistance. We tend to get into this. We will look at each of this in detail. So what is this comfort zone? We are comfortable doing what we already do. This is in, this is a scientific word. Like in biology, they have this word called homeostasis, right? Just maintaining the status quo. Whatever is there, you just want to stay like this. You don't want to change anything. You are comfortable doing what you are already doing, right? And in other words, we are uncomfortable doing something new. That means we are uncomfortable when you are saying you set a new goal. You're uncomfortable. You want to learn something new, uncomfortable. You're committing to a new course of action, you're uncomfortable, right? We always move from discomfort to comfort, but we do not move from comfort to discomfort. If you want to move from comfort to discomfort, it has to be a conscious choice. Our natural tendency is to move from discomfort to comfort, right? So that is the comfort zone. Now remember that the comfort zone is an enemy of success. It's the biggest enemy of success. You have to be very watchful about this comfort zone. The comfort zone keeps us constant just constant with the previous behavior. Whatever you have done in the past, you're repeating the same thing. The sad part is this, that you're repeating whatever you have done in the past, but you're expecting a different result in future. How is this possible? It will not happen. And it keeps us at a lower level of accomplishment. Because you're wanting to choose to stay in the comfort zone, you will always stay at a low level of accomplishment. So how to break out of the comfort zone? So we have looked at this earlier. I'm repeating it now. Set big, audacious goals. Goals that, if you just think of it, it should, oh my God, like this is like impossible. It's simply impossible. I just can't do this. Set goals like that. Okay. What is the power of setting such goals? Goals that are seemingly impossible to achieve. Set goals that are on the face of it, it's impossible to achieve. If you use the current level of accomplishment, it is impossible to achieve. Set such goals. These goals will just shake you and wake you up. Right? Next, learned helplessness. There is a 25-year study at University of Chicago on behavior. And what they found is that the single biggest obstacle to success is the feeling of helplessness. What are the, all of us are familiar with this. We have seen it at multiple levels in our life, multiple times. I don't have money. I don't have the skills. I don't have friends. I don't have support. We have so many I don't have, right? That feeling of helplessness. This is the single greatest obstacle to success, right? The feeling of helplessness leads to a feeling of hopelessness. And it also leads to making you very passive. Simply because you are so hopeless and helpless, you say, oh, yes, there's no point in doing anything. So you tend to become passive. How to break out of learned helplessness? Realize first that there has never been a better time than today to achieve great goals. Just look at the ease, the comfort offered by technology, the connectivity that we have. If you look at our own possibility, the Indus Viva possibility, look at the kind of possibility that we have, the way it is expanding. So many things have become much, much easier today than it ever was before for anybody, even years or decades before. Remember, we always have had problems earlier, and so it is today. Today also we will have problems. Earlier also there were problems. Today also there will be problems. Only thing, they may be more exaggerated. But inside every problem, there is an opportunity. If you are creative, for the creative person, there is an opportunity to find, solve, make money, make a contribution. Whatever is the problem, he will identify the opportunity, find that opportunity, solve it, make money, make a contribution to society. He can do this. That choice is there with us if we choose to take it on. The fact is that we are actually not helpless. We have spoken about this positive affirmations. I want you to go back and look at the past videos. Say to yourself over and over again, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I am the best. There is this law of substitution. When you, whatever is there in your mind, like only one thing can stay in your mind. So whatever you put in your mind consciously will push out whatever else is there, right? So therefore, this positive affirmations, very powerful. I can achieve anything that I put my mind to. These are conscious affirmations that you can make. Make it and repeat it to yourself. Right. If you can conceive a goal in your mind, you probably have it within you to achieve it. Okay. Whatever you have it either within you or around you, whatever it takes, it is there to achieve it. If you can conceive it in your mind, it is possible to achieve it. You cannot conceive a great goal without simultaneously having the ability to achieve that goal. Just remember this. If you have already thought of a goal, it means there is a possibility for you to achieve it, right? So just start taking action. Then the path of least resistance, we are very familiar with this. The tendency to look for an easy way out, the fast way, the cheap way, right? Shortcuts. Such an enormous number of people are addicted to shortcuts. We just somehow want shortcuts. So this is something that, somebody has said. Getting the first 1 million. So it's not an easy path. There is no, what do you call, the path of least resistance does not work. There is no get rich quick scheme. And Indus Viva, the possibility that we are in is not a get rich quick scheme, right? The hitting that first 1 million is very hard, but the second million is inevitable once you hit the first million. That's the way it works. There is the law of compounding that happens. It's like a geometric progression that happens. So remember, avoid this path of least resistance. It will not work. It will not get you far. There are no shortcuts to success. The success of self-made billionaires is not because of luck. Many people think that, oh, somebody is like, they are very affluent, they are so lucky. It's not luck at all self-made millionaires have done it the hard way, and they have failed. I will talk about failure subsequently. We have spoken about it in the past an unbelievably large number of times. Now, there is an old rich model, the traditional way to financial success. It typically takes 20 to 30 years. But the new rich model still does take 5 to 7 years. It is at the very least, it will take that much time. So instead of thinking that, oh my God, it's so much time and all that, how about getting started? Anyway, your time is running out. So how about getting started? The only way to override your failure mechanism, see, this failure mechanism is inbuilt. You have to consciously override it. The way is to activate the success mechanism. How do you activate the success mechanism? Just set a goal. That is the importance of a goal. Setting a goal activates the success mechanism, which is the mechanism to override the natural tendency to fail. So why do people not set goals? Let's look at it. One, they do not realize the importance of goals. They say, oh, I have goals. Just saying that in your mind, no, I have goals is not enough. It is just a wish or a fantasy, as we have said. Goals are a clear written blueprint. It is a list of activities organized by priority and on which you will work on a day-to-day basis, right? Second, people do not know how to set goals. That is another reason they do not set it. Goals properly set and written down can dramatically alter the experience of life itself, very dramatically. Third reason, fear of rejection and criticism. One major reason, you just think of it. You are not setting a goal because now when you set a goal and tell people about it, no, others will criticize you. They'll be sarcastic. They'll say, yeah, what bullshit? Kya baat kar raha hai? Pagal hai kya? Right? So negative or sarcastic comments, and we are very emotional, by our nature, we do not want to hear such comments. And then there is so much of discouragement. They will say, nay, all this is not possible. What? You're such a fool, right? So what is this way to get around this fear of rejection and criticism? Keep your goals personal. Don't go around discussing to the whole world that, oh, I have set such audacious goals. Only share it with those who are in harmony with your goals. They are harmony with you and they are in harmony with your goals. Only share it with such people. And demonstrate your goals by achieving them. You don't have to go and tell people about it. You achieve it and then show people that, look, I have achieved them. And then they'll say, oh my God, how did you do it? You're so lucky. All these things will come up. Right. The fourth is fear of failure. All of us are so familiar with this. What if I set a goal, I may not achieve it. I spend all the time and money and do not achieve my goal. I put my heart into it, but it does not work. Right? Fear of failure. To get over the fear of failure, again, it's affirmation. You get inside and you say, I can do it. I can set a goal and I can achieve it. Along with this, you also need to understand this. Almost everybody fails initially. Okay, there is a New York Times TV show which was done decades ago, where they interviewed 4 self-made millionaires under 30. And they asked them how many businesses had they done before the present success. Now they've become millionaires, but how many businesses have you done in the past? On an average, they had failed 17 times. You imagine 17 businesses failed before the 18th was a success, right? So did they really fail 17 times? Each failure was a learning and a stepping stone for the next venture. So as we said, almost everybody fails initially, right? If you fail, what you should do is do not give up. You find out what is there to learn and restart again. Successful people, remember this, we've spoken about the example of Thomas Alva Edison. Thomas Alva Edison, before he invented that one filament which worked for the bulb, they say that he failed an unbelievable 20,000 times. Okay, can you imagine failing 20,000 times and keeping on at it? You know what his response was? When somebody asked him around 5,000 times, some reporter came and said, what is this? You have failed so many times. Why are you continuing? What's the point? So Alva Edison's reply was, I know 5,000 things that do not work. Just look at the mental attitude. So it is true of all successful people. successful people fail vastly many more times than unsuccessful people. But they may call it a learning experience, they may call it an expensive learning experience or a painful learning experience, but they will not call it failure. Okay. So listen, just check this out. Failure is merely an opportunity to more intelligently begin again. Who said this? Henry Ford. Again, somebody who has dramatically changed the entire course of the automobile industry. As you focus on the lessons that you have learned, okay, law of substitution starts working. You become more positive, you become more excited. You cannot be negative thinking about everything that you have learned. When you've learned something, you won't be negative because you've learned something. You will get to a point where you can earn and keep the money you earn. That is the power of just focusing on what you learn rather than your failure. So we'll be continuing next week. Thank you very much.